Are you in accountable relationships? Now we ask that question, and there's obviously different components to being in accountable relationships, but we want to focus on four main points to really establish whether you're in accountable relationships. And the first point we want to define what accountable relationships are. And accountable relationships are starting and building your relationships through core values, sitting down, having discussions, explaining what you believe in, what's your faith, what adjectives define you, and listening to what the other person says, their adjectives define them, and living through those core values, having that belief system, and running your relationships through that belief system, where you can hold them accountable based on who they say they're going to be and the core values they say they have, and they can hold you accountable based on your core values. So when you start a relationship through, your core values, and with your core values, it governs the relationship and allows two people to really flourish and hold each other accountable at the same time, have a clear understanding of who each other is.
Yeah, and the next point is, do all the people in your life remain focused on best practice? Now, there's about quite a few ways to do something, right? But are you guys all doing it with keeping in mind the best practice for everyone that's involved? So that's, when we're all coexisting in a group, it's what you may do as best practice when you're alone may not transfer over to best practice when you are in a group. It doesn't really transfer over the same. So when you are making decisions and you're thinking about the people around you, are you thinking about what's the best thing for everyone? Are the people around you thinking about what's the best thing for everyone? Because that's would help everyone remain accountable within that relationship.
Definitely.
And then,
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna just add on.
Oh, good.
To it, but and also, making sure that you understand it's not about right and wrong. It is about best practice. So obviously 20 things can be right. There can be 20 people sitting in a group, and all of them could have a clear right answer. But there's something called best practice. So what's the best practice? It basically benefits everybody within the group. So it's what's going to enhance the group as a unit versus what's going to enhance the individual. So keep that in mind when we talking best practice. That's what we're talking about.
And then the third point is, are you motivated by their joy? So are you invested in their happiness? Are you invested in the things that bring them joy? Because that would also help you have the best healthy relationship that you could possibly have with the people around you. It's all good if you guys are all, hanging out and having fun, but everyone has, their goals or things that makes them happy and that sparks joy for them. So what are the things that you are doing to help them get to where they want to go? What are the things you're doing to help them get there? How are you supporting them? It's one thing, like I said, to go out and, go out drinking or have, recreational fun, but what are you bringing to their life that you're not maybe getting something directly out of it? Like what are the areas that you're supporting them in? And that's really important when you're fostering relationships as well.
Definitely. And our fourth one and last one is, are y'all making lifetime plans? So like Jerry said, you can go out, you can make plans to go out, meet up, you can make plans to go to the movies, but are y'all talking about long-term goals? Are y'all talking about, what are we going to do to maybe build a business together like we did, obviously?
Yeah.
Are you talking about raising children? Because if you started off as friends when you were younger, as you get older, you know that you're going to get a spouse, y'all going to start having children. Are y'all talking about blending life together? Are y'all talking about how you're going to raise each other's children and how you're going to be in each other's life through the trials and tribulations of raising children? Are y'all, like Jerry said, talking about each other's joys and making sure that y'all focus and y'all have a narrow focus on those joys? Are y'all basing the people that y'all allow in your life around the friendships you already have? Like, if you bring somebody into the fold that's not going to enhance the relationships you already have, are you willing to risk all the relationships you have to bring a new person into the fold? So you got to truly ask yourself, Are you living for yourself, or are you living in accountable relationships?
And it's something as simple as moving to another borough. You
Definitely.
know what I mean? Like I could move to Long Island. That's far from Manhattan. What is that going to do to our friendships? You know, or maybe if you want to relocate out of state, is that something that you guys thought, talked about as a group, or is that something that, if you decide to move out of state, like how is that going to impact your relationship? And having those conversations, or when you are starting relationships, letting the other person know that, hey, I always wanted to move, down south, and give, the people around you choice on if that's, if you're a person that they really want to invest time in, knowing that you're going to move out of state.
Definitely.
So it's really making plans together in that way as well, not just the day to day, moment to moment, or, when you need that quick pick me up. It's every day that you're thinking about how these people are going to be a part of your life.
Definitely. So we want to ask our panelists and people listening on the side. You can chime in on Facebook if you're listening on Facebook. I mean, are you after hearing that? Are you in accountable relationships?